All right, let's move on to what is probably the most anticipated theatrical release coming out at least this holiday time. You know, the whole Thanksgiving extended celebration. Ghostbusters Afterlife, at least for a certain corner of the film going community, a lot of people are excited for what is kind of like a return of sorts to the family legacy. Jason Reitman taking over the Ivan Reitman franchise, because that's why people went to the Ghostbusters movies in the first place, right? To see Ivan
Ivan,
Reitman's work. You got a pretty big cast here with, as you
massive.
mentioned, our favorites like Carrie Coonan, Tracy Letts, but also Paul Rudd, Finn Wolfhard off Stranger Things fame, Sigourney Weaver. You got the original Ghostbusters making appearances here. It's packed full of the things you remember and the people you remember and the jokes you remember and the product placement you remember and some new product placement that you're gonna remember.
And new toys.
Art, what was your experience like with Ghostbusters Afterlife?
Yeah, a lot of people like to complain about fan service. This is nothing but fan service. It is a Ghost Con convention up on screen for you to pay a ticket to at the cinemas. I thought it was a blast, bro. I love this movie. I had a great time with it. I'm not saying it is a great movie. I'm not saying that if you're not a fan of Ghostbusters, I don't think you'll be bored by this movie though. I don't think regardless of where you come from, it is a blockbuster just having a good time movie. The performances for the most part. I thought Finn Wolfhard wasn't that great. I don't know. His delivery and a lot of these lines weren't fantastic. There is a new character also called Podcast that ends up being McKenna's like side partner character.
Yep.
None of his jokes work throughout the movie for me, but that's mainly because I don't think the knows what he was saying. You could tell when like a young kid actor is like they wrote things for him and he doesn't know what the conspiracy theories are that he's speaking on in his podcast. He just like regurgitates that line, but he does have a good final line that he says to a really big character that I loved. It really is Carrie Coon coming in to play the. I mean, I'm assuming most people know what the plot is. She plays a mother character who moves into this middle of nowhere town in order to take what would be maybe her inheritance of some sorts. As they realize not only what's in this town, but McKenna, who's our new character, pretty much taking the spirit of Egon, as the movie's like a really big tribute to Harold Ramis. Trying to figure out not just her history in terms of what her family did and all the ghost busting, because I guess nobody remembers the big attack that happened in New York. It seems to always be the thing. But they're trying to build up, what would be this new legacy. And I thought they did a great job with it. Is it filled of a lot of references, that just calling back to the first? Yes, but I think they do it well. I think McKenna Grace is fantastic. I don't know why I keep watching these movies with McKenna. I know she's fantastic. I keep forgetting it's her. My goofy self probably thinks she's getting too invested into it that I completely forget that that's her up on screen. But I thought she killed it. She definitely feels like the granddaughter of Egon. And I like the little adventures that she goes on. Like I said, not all the
Oh,
jokes,
okay. I've been wondering where I know McKenna Grace from. She's the person who
everything,
plays the younger version of
everything,
everybody.
everybody.
The
She
younger
was
Captain
laughing.
Marvel, the younger I, Tanya. Who else was
You
there?
don't stop. Young Malignant, Young Haunting.
Yeah, a young haunting.
It's insane, bro. No, she is talented beyond belief. That's why I'm saying. I'm like, it took me a while to be like, damn, that's McKenna.
See,
I don't know
like
why.
I wasn't sure I knew her or whatever, but I've already seen her in seven different movies. So
It's insane, dude. She is mad talented and uh, maybe too talented to the point that she does have a single out, Zach. She is a music star now as well.
right. So
Do
she's
your
going for
thing.
that cross-platform hype.
Do your thing. Cut that out of the movie, bro. It's the ending credits song. I
Uh,
hate the ending credits song. Garbage. But nonetheless, no, she is fantastic in the movie. I think overall, if you're a fan of Ghostbusters, you're gonna love it. You're correct. Not only is it filled with Easter eggs to the previous movies, they got you with just the product placements of everything. Like
mhm.
they're just bathing in it. They know exactly what made all the other ones successful, and that's being able to, as Dan Aykroyd calls it, be toyetic. He says it's a very toyetic property, and yeah. I think it lives up to the hype. Paul Rudd was fantastic as well. They do a great thing as well. I didn't know that they had released it in the trailers, but it is practically beat by beat from the original. And the stuff that they do with, let's say, the Stay Puffed,
Mhm.
it sounds like they want to do a series, bro. It sounds like they want to make this into an animated thing. They're going to make this into the new type of Minions thing. I think people are going to eat it up. They are going to love it. And I think it's a good time in the theaters. I went to go IMAX special screening, and y'all saw it early. Definitely let me know. I went in there. and they start playing Eternals. Everyone boos, which one is hilarious. That playing it, and everyone's like, boo! It just is in the beginning. They're like, no.
Yeah.
They then go and replay it again, but they chopped off the screen. Now you know how big I am with my IMAX. They chopped off the IMAX
Hmm.
damn intro. So I'm watching this whole movie and it never expands to IMAX. I paid the extra money to go see it in IMAX. The big deal that it's optimized for IMAX. If any of y'all see this, let me know if it's fully shot in IMAX. I'll probably see it again during the weekend, get back on the next stream. But that was kind of disappointing in terms of my screening. But nonetheless, even with it being cropped how most people are going to see it, hey, I thought it was a good time. Again, if you're not a fan of the series, if you're someone who doesn't really like fan service, definitely not for you. But even if you haven't seen the previous ones, which I highly recommend watching, because damn does it build up on a lot of those. Literally any mistake that the previous ones did, issues that have been there, and I'm going to work on a whole LME timeline for that. Stay through the credits, stay through the after credits. Ghostbusters has always been a series where the filmmakers are telling you how they feel about the state of the world and even what they're going through in the industry, and they straight up just say it to the camera. Like, there's parts of the first one where they're like, we can't work for the university anymore. Man, we have to work for the private sector and come up with stuff. That's crazy. There's a lot of elements of what they were going through in the 80s in the 84 Ghostbusters, and there's a lot of elements, with the new generation that they've come into play here, because the 2016 one, non-existent. Just like it never happened, bro.
Not commented on.
Dude, they're meeting up as if they haven't already appeared in another Ghostbusters property 5 years ago. They're like, damn, look at them up on screen.
Yeah, if they could, Berenstein Bears that out of existence or whatever, they definitely would. Which, it's a shame. I haven't seen it, but, I feel like it's just strange to treat, a whole movie that way.
Especially because, again, all three of them are in it. And because they're in it, it had some authority with it. I think this is the reboot people wanted of the franchise, and I'm sure they're going to carry.
Devesh here in the comments asked, do you think it'll appeal to the youth? Does Ghostbusters sell to them? Because you said this is going to be something that fans of it are really rewarded by, and there is sort of this idea about bringing Ghostbusters back to it for a new generation. Is this the type of movie that would 20 years in the future inspire people to then fight about being, not my Ghostbusters?
Yeah, because it stays in line with the original, like it really does. And for people who, again, what you're saying, you have to understand that for a lot of people, this is this is just homaging and redoing what the original did.
If you don't have that reference point, if you're a 10-year-old kid right now going to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I truly believe that McKenna, in the future, will finally have a young version playing one of her characters when she's older. I'm banking on her. I think she does a great job in it. So yeah, I do think it will live up for that. I think all the kids who were in my screening, one of the kids even said, "Turn off Eternals. We're here for Ghostbusters," and that kid loved it, man. Nice. So, I definitely think it's going to live up to the hype for that, and I think it's going to be a perfect Thanksgiving movie along with that we'll be talking about in a little.